Hello and welcome back to this channel. In today's tutorial, we're going to learn how to draw these beads in Procreate. So let's just get started. I'm going to go into this plus sign here and select a square, which is like a default that comes with Procreate. So let's go ahead and bring in our sketch and color palette. If you want them, there's a link in the description box below. Go click it and download the sketch and the color palette. To bring in the sketch, click on this wrench, go to add, insert a photo, and it'll go to your gallery and bring in the sketch, and then click on this arrow. So I've picked out some colors for this illustration, but I just want to tell you that all these colors are pretty dark, but we're going to use a technique in the end to lighten our whole artwork so that it looks bright and nice in the end. The brush that we're going to use for this illustration is going to be under calligraphy and blotchy. So I'm going to go ahead into the sketch layer, click on this N, reduce the opacity a little bit, and make sure you change this to multiply, and then click back. Click on a new layer, and now we'll start painting. So let's choose the lightest color that we have, and we're going to go ahead and draw the beads. So I'm going to start by here, and I'll keep the brush at the highest possible size, that is 100%, and I'm just going to go ahead and draw something like this. Make sure you don't lift your brush, because when you lift your brush and try to draw again, it forms streaks. Once I have that, I'm going to go into this one now and try to draw or put some paint over here. And this one as well. I'll leave it at that, and this one as well. Let's go ahead and choose the darker color now, not the darkest. I'm going to go ahead and add it over here. And in here. And add a bit over here as well, like that. This forms a weird thing, so I'm just going to add that and a bit here. Let's just take a look like how this is coming through, and you can see what's happening here. It's fine that it has a little bit of edges because we are going to go ahead and adjust it later on. Bring that back in, and now it's time to make the stalk. So I'm just going to go ahead and add in color like that. And here. Let's choose the darkest color that we have. We'll just add it here in the edges like that. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to add a bit here as well to the edges. And making some swirls like this. And add some lines like this as well. Add more here. Okay, bit over here. Now let's uncheck the sketch just to take a look at how things are going. And now the last thing we need is to add a bit of white. So I'm going to go ahead and check white. Go ahead and click on a new layer so that the white is on a completely different layer. And we're going to add some highlights here. So you can just add something like this, and obviously you need something over here and a bit here as well. I would want some here, and we can add something here as well. Like that. Okay. That looks fine to me. And now let's go to a completely new layer, and we're going to change the brush now. And I would like to take script and change this to black. And now we'll go ahead and add the outlines, which is really important because it brings out the overall texture or the shape of the beads. You can press to create a thick line and give very little pressure to create that thin line. And as you can see, I'm not drawing exactly over the beads. I'll draw some lines like this because beads have that thingy, right? And I want one line here. And you see I'm leaving out a little bit of white gaps and such. That gives it a very nice, I don't know, a character kind of a thing. So you should do that too. Let's draw this one. The whole idea is to make sure you do some thin and thick lines. Only then it looks nice. And you don't have to completely close the lines. You can keep them a little bit open as well. And some like that. And now you can add some lines here as well. And obviously we're going to add a bit of a line here and maybe over here like that. Okay, and it's time to draw this. Again, thick and thin lines. I think that looks good, but there's one more thing to do. I'll go back to the layer which has the beats, or I'll go back to the layer which has the sketch and click on a new layer, and I'll go ahead and choose some color. You can choose any color you want, by the way. Maybe we'll choose this red, and let's go to water. And in here you have something called as water flicks. So we'll click on that and probably add some drops of water here and there like that. Make sure it's below the beads layer. You can also choose black if you want and kind of add it over there. If that's too much, something like this. Okay, and now let's go ahead and change the color, because now you can see that the beads are really dark and you want to lighten it up. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Make sure you go into the beads layer first of all. If you have created beads in different layers, merge them into one, and next go to your magic wand, go to hue, saturation, brightness, and click on layer. And in here, click on saturation, and let's increase this a little bit to make it more redder. You can also increase the brightness a little bit to make it more lighter. That's a little too much, I guess. And if you don't like red and you want your beads to be some other color, you can always go ahead and experiment with this setting right here. So I'm going to keep it at 50%. That's done. And now our beads are all red and nice. And there are two things left to do. One is you can add text if you want. So I can go to a new layer on top of everything. Go back to your calligraphy. You can choose any brush you want, and I think I will choose my monoline, the one which is an outline brush. If you want to know how to create this one, go ahead and check out my video. I will leave a link in the description box below or here in the card. And you can just type in beads. If you think this is too thin, you can use the other monoline that I have. That's cool. And now it's time to add some texture to this. I have a video on how to add texture to your artwork. If you want to know how to do that, just go ahead and check the link in the description box below. I'll also leave it here in the card. So I'm just going to quickly go ahead and add some texture. Okay, so your final beads is ready. So it is this simple to create something like beads, which has a watercolor effect on your Procreate, and also to lighten the colors once you have already put in the colors. So now you know how to do that, right? So, okay, that brings us to the end of this tutorial, and I hope you liked it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. I know it was a really short tutorial, but I'm trying to create a Procreate tutorial every week so that everybody can sit with me and draw. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification, and share it with your friends or anybody who's interested in these videos. That would be really helpful for me. Okay, I guess I'll see you in the next video then. Bye-bye.